I'm here to find you some incredible bargains in the Spanish leagues. The top 2 divisions in Spain are filled with youngsters between the ages of 18 to 22 who can be picked up for less than £10 million and do a great job for your team if you're around the Championship level or even lower to mid-table Premier League. I've got 2 players in every position for you who will not break the bank but could star for your team. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel so you can find more FM videos just like this, and like the video if you have just found your new young star. Let's start out in goal, of course, where there are 2 really good young options for you to bring into your team. Garcia is a 22-year-old keeper playing for Espanyol and starts as their number 1, but you can pick him up for well under £10 million if you act quickly, because with his strong potential ability hard-coded of 156, he will drastically increase in value. This could be someone who has the potential of being a goalkeeper for a Champions League level team. Bring him in, start him straight away, and reap the rewards of this fantastic young goalkeeper as he progresses into the future. Lucas Canazares is playing in the Real Madrid Castilla team and has a potential range between 140 to 170. If he gets that 170 in your range, then he will become one of the best goalkeepers in the world. At just 21 at the start of the game, he does have the lowest current ability of anyone on the list, but he can improve rapidly with plenty of game time and the right kind of training. I could have gone with Julian Arroyo for the right back position, but he's on loan to start the game, so you can't get him in until at least the second season. But Ruben Sanchez actually has a higher potential ability in the game. He starts out at Espanyol and is in demand right from the beginning. While he's not outstanding at anything in particular, he is a very solid player with a decent scope for improvement. Alejandra Francis has a slightly lower potential ability, but he is someone who can come straight into a Championship or even lower Premier League team and be a hit. With a little bit of improvement there, his very solid physicals, as well as good marking and tackling, make him a fantastic option for a fullback on support. We take a little trip to SC Andorra for the first of our young centre-backs, in Jose Massa, and he is actually left-footed, which is very valuable for your team, and something that doesn't come around too often. Martha is solid everywhere, but is also decent with the ball at his feet, meaning he can play the libero or ball-playing defender roles very well. And with a really strong potential ability, make sure you lock him into your starting team. The other centre-back on this list is actually a left-footed centre-back as well, in Kiki Salas, who can actually do a really good job in the ball-playing defender role. And with the right training, he's not going to lose too many aerial battles with his already good heading ability and a decent height and jumping reach. He has scope for improvement too, so make sure he gets game time right from the start. Manu Sanchez is a fantastic option if you like attacking fullbacks who can do a little bit of defending as well. At 22 years old, he has a bit more experience than most, but still has plenty of time to improve into the future and be a long-term option for someone pushing towards those European places. Javi Lopez played plenty of football in the season before FM24 for Alaves, which means he can come straight into your team and do a job for you as well. At just 21 years of age and with a decent potential ability, he will be a solid option for your team, though probably not one who's going to lift the Champions League as a starter, but maybe a Europa League or Conference League perhaps. Antonio Blanco can play as either a defensive midfielder or in the centre of the park, and with that fantastic determination and teamwork, he can play as a ball-winning midfielder very well. As he can improve up to 150 potential ability, the former Real Madrid Academy player is absolutely one to look at as your team rises up the league. More than comfortable with the ball at his feet, Blanco has surprising strength for someone of his size. I have used him a few times in FM24 and he has been a fantastic option for a European level side. Sergi Altamira is one of the more expensive players on this list, as he comes from Real Betis, but he can be picked up for just less than £10 million with the right kind of negotiation. He is solid all over the place, but just take a look at those long shots. If you can train the right kind of player roles for him, you can get a sneaky goal scoring option arriving late in the box from the deep lying playmaker role. Obviously there is some overlap in the central midfield roles, but Niko Mellamed is a 22-year-old playing for Espanyol and he prefers an attacking role in the centre of midfield. He has fantastic determination and his technique is decent, so with the improvement up to 150 potential ability, he is well suited to a Metzala or advanced playmaker, or even one of my favourite roles, the centre midfielder on attack. Dion Lopez is a Senegalese central midfielder who has fantastic technique and passing skills to go along with his strength and stamina. He can run most of the day in the centre of the park and has the ability to set up plenty of attacks for your side. Though he was recently brought in from Stade Reims in France, by the January transfer window you might be able to tempt Almeria with a deal around the £10 million mark to take this fantastic youngster. With the wingers, as there is a lot of overlap between the two positions, I'm going to lump them all together. Also, because there are quite a number of good wingers such as Hassim Hassan, Mario Soriano, Peter, and Luis Cruz are all out on loan to start the season, they can't be purchased for quite a while. But the first of the two players that you should be able to get into your side pretty quickly, with plenty of upside, is Andres Garcia. The Levante man can play on either wing and has some really good pace and acceleration, and at only 20 years of age, with a PA range of up to 150, if he gets that 150 in your game, then he will well and truly be capable of playing in the Europa League or Conference League into the future. Marcos Paulo can be picked up for pretty cheap from Atletico Madrid because he probably won't get anywhere near the first team for his current club. While he's probably not someone who will win you the league, if you are a good team pushing for promotion into the Premier League and are in need of a good dribbling winger, then Marcos Paulo is someone who could set sail towards your team. The very talented and tricky attacking midfielder Piqué can be picked up for less than £5 million from Racing Santander. And if you've seen my video rebuilding Southampton, you'll know that he performed wonders for my side as we were in the Champions League. He will set up plenty of goals for you and be involved in everything in your attack. Just don't bother asking him to dive into tackles. Antonio Moyana can be picked up for less than £1 million and can slot straight into your championship level team. He's a starter for Sabadell, so if you want to bring him in, you'll want to do it pretty quickly. He has decent first touch and technique and will get into the right positions with his off-the-ball movement and moves into channels player trait. I couldn't quite sneak in one of my favourites in Ivan Arzon to the strikers, as his potential ability is not the greatest on the game, but also you can check out Marko Milovanovic from Almeria, as well, as he has a potential range that could take him up to 160, and with a current ability of 115, he could easily start in the championship if you're patient with him to begin with. But the first player that I chose for this list is Ivan Romero from Levante. You can pick him up for less than £10 million, and with a bit of training into his finishing, he can become a really good goal scorer in the Championship or lower Premier League level team. If you can get his pace and acceleration to improve as well, he will have plenty of tools that will help him become a fantastic player into the future. And finally, probably the best player on this list is someone who has been a favourite as a Wonderkid for a few years now, Fanino from Burgos. If you look at his career stats, it's kinda hard to see why he's rated so highly on the game, but as a target forward or poacher, this guy will score plenty more goals than he actually had in real life going into FM24. Definitely someone to look at if you are a Championship or lower Premier League level team. There are plenty more players out there who can fulfill roles for your club as you look to gain promotion into the top tier of your country or push towards European places. But these are some of the best for less than £10 million that I have managed to find, most of which I have used in one capacity or another. If you like what you've seen today, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more FM content just like this. Leave a comment down below if you've just found the next big star for your team. And on the screen now will be the battle between Manchester United and Manchester City, as they got expelled down to the 10th tier of English football and had to scratch and claw their way back up to the Premier League. But of course, the most important thing is you guys make sure you have yourselves a wonderful day.